This is a book talk and review of the book Chrysanthemum by Kevin Henkes. Chrysanthemum is a book about a little girl who was named Chrysanthemum. She thinks her name is perfect because her parents have always told her that she was a perfect baby and the perfect baby deserves the perfect name. As she grows up, she continues to love her name. She thinks it's beautiful and she thinks it is the perfect name for her. That is, until she gets to school. As soon as she gets into school, kids start making fun of her because of how long her name is and the fact that she's named after a flower. They talk about how they're named after their grandma and their name means something, where Chrysanthemum is just named after a flower and that she's dirty as a flower. So she goes home every night after school saying school is not the place for me. She doesn't want to go back. She thinks her name's perfect, but then she starts to question that because she's being made fun of. Her parents do everything to make her feel better, but she continues to get made fun of at school. That is until they meet their music teacher, Mrs. Twinkle, and she too is named after a flower. And she says, and she happens to be pregnant, and she says that if her baby is a girl, then she wants to name her Chrysanthemum. Finally, all the girls that have been making fun of Chrysanthemum throughout the book start making up their own flower names and saying that they want to be called by those. And this helps the bullying on Chrysanthemum stop. I can relate personally to this book because I too had my name made fun of. My name is Ellen, and I'm the third E in my family, so my oldest sister is Erica, and then it goes Emily, and then Ellen. And I thought that was the coolest thing because it was something that all three of us shared. But when I got to school, people would tell me that I had an old person name, and it sounded like I should be a lot older than I was, and they would make fun of me and call me Helen instead of Ellen. And this was really traumatizing. I never had a teacher that related to my name, but I just grew up and the bullying stopped, and I realized that my name is cool because of what it stands for and how it relates to the rest of my family. This is a very memorable piece of literature because it helps bring up a tough subject of bullying that happens in school. It helps talk about the differences of students and how some people get picked on for those differences when they really shouldn't be. So using it in the classroom, it can help introduce the subject of bullying, especially if someone in your class is bullying, and show that everybody has differences, but it's no reason to make fun of someone for it at all. It's a very well written book, and it covers a lot of vocabulary, but some of the vocabulary is larger than what younger students may have, such as dainty. And at one point, Chrysanthemum's dad is saying that the other kids just don't know what they're talking about. And he uses words like envious and begrudging. So before using this in a classroom, you'll have to talk to your students about what those words mean. I would suggest using this book as a read aloud before just handing it to the students because, one, you can go over those larger words and explain what they mean, because if it's in a kindergarten classroom, I don't think they'll know what the word begrudging means, so you'll have to explain what that means. And even in older grades too. But it's also good as a read aloud because after you read it, you can talk to your students about how they thought Chrysanthemum felt and how if there was something different about someone in their class, would they do the things that the other girls did, or would they try to help Chrysanthemum feel better like the teacher did? I think it can bring up a lot of good discussion points throughout the classroom on bullying, and it could just bring awareness to the problems that are going on in schools today. These are some useful websites. They have activities and lesson plans laid out in them of ways that you can use Chrysanthemum in your classroom. But other than that, it is a great book, and it's a great way to help introduce the subject of bullying into your classroom. So thank you.